Hi, my name is Gregory, and one of the doctor of CEREC doctors is asking for help how to design the implant crown on number 9. We can see it's a very challenging case. We can see the implant being placed not below the gingival level. Second, we also can see that adjacent teeth had the gum problem, so we have huge diastema. So let's probably, without further ado, to get to the point, it's how we can correct this design. What I usually do is when we have the implant placed above the gingiva or the gingiva below the head of the implant, I usually do not use a gingival mask. That's why you can see this lingual extension right here, which is below the implant level. So we're going back to the model, and if we can see edit baseline, I will not use gingival mask, and you can see the difference in the shape of proposed split. Even you can see it's even in the level of the implant head. We can probably later on we can adjust, or we can adjust it even right here, just to make this area a little bit higher, so the final proposal will be much better. If we're going to design, and we are going to check with the parameters the duct has been placed for this particular restoration. Okay, my computer a little bit slow. Okay, so we're not putting any occlusal offset on the front teeth, number one. I also been trying to place restorations around 800, and let's see, we have a gingival depth. I usually placed this on gingival depth, but again, I usually my parameters is below the gingival level of 0.5 millimeters. The pressure, again, there's nothing going to be pressure on the gums because again, it's above the gum. Usually my parameters is 150. Shoulder width, especially for anterior teeth, is going to be too wide. It's going to reverse platform switch, so I usually start with 600, and then I can increase the shoulder width if I need it. So we'll click OK, and now let's calculate the restoration. Again, it's we also have to check what the model axis been placed this restoration. So when we get, you see, it's much better, of course, what the previous restoration was done. And what I usually do, I've been using Biojo. Yeah, I want to see how can I improve position of it restoration, and we are going to positioning. So let's align with neighboring teeth with the same inclination. Again, it's very challenging to do it cosmetically because adjacencies are not so great, but we can do probably as much as we can. We can also use a scale tool to reduce this to a little bit mesiolingually. To mimic adjacent tooths. And let's get shape again, so make sure you don't have to be very precise at this moment. It just will give you a better proposal. Again, check the parameters, calculate the restoration. I already done this restoration in a different folder. It's almost the same. So if we going to probably make this restorations a little bit better. You can see the position is great. We need to do a little bit adjustments on the shape. Again, I'm not going to go through all these stages, but you can see how the restoration can be done much better at this stage without any complications. So let me show you it's my final restoration, how it looks like. What I usually propose, since the placement of implant is too buccal, number one, okay, so it's not enough thickness to do even like a screw retain restoration, because the access hole is going to be on the buckle. If we're going to split this case, it's not going to even enough the thickness for veneering restoration. So usually what you can do is that you can probably design this case in LT Emax, if it's going to be the same veneering restoration on top, and make this just area like a laminate, just keeping the contact area on abutment. And when it's done, this access hole is being placed, you place the abutment, then you can probably eventually cement the restoration on top of this abutment. It's much easier. It will give you a much more aesthetic result. So if you have any questions, please leave messages on the board, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.